Okay, in our directions, we are on the part where we are going to apply the flounce and the bias tape to the lower edge of the apron. So to do this, we are actually going to go back in our pattern directions to apron A. And in apron A, we are going to go to where they start talking about the flounce, which is down here in step 4. Okay, so in step 4, it says to stay stitch the upper edge of the flounce. So if we go to that sheet that I gave you, with that informational sheet that everybody should have, the handout, I will also attach it in the description of the video. You will see in the glossary that a stay stitch is just going to be a stitch that we are going to stitch about a 1/2 inch from the raw edge. And it shows in the picture here that we're going to do it right along that curved line of our flounce. So here I have my flounce, and I'm just going to do it right along the inside edge here, on the inside curve of my flounce. I'm going to do a stay stitch, so it's just a stitch with a 1/2 inch seam allowance. Okay, so I finished that stay stitch, and that is going to be important because that's going to allow us to kind of maneuver our fabric and our curve of the flounce is not going to really stretch as much, so that's going to help it really hold its shape. So that's the purpose of the stay stitch, is just to keep that holding its shape. Now we are going to pin the flounce to the bottom of our apron piece that we sewed that pocket to. So we are going to kind of match things up. Now notice we have those triangles that we had cut out. So those triangles should match up, and the ends of our fabric should kind of match up as we do this. And we want our fabrics to be right sides together as we do this. And we're just going to kind of pin in place. And as we need to, we might need to do a little bit of cutting into our fabric just to help with the curve a little bit, and I can show you that as I do. Okay, so I just sewed my flounce onto my apron, and now I need to press my seam. So I've got my iron here, and I am just going to go ahead and iron so that my seam goes up towards the body of my apron, away from the flounce, because I want that to lay flat for this next step. Okay, so now I am going ahead and I am just pinning my bias tape right along the seam of where my flounce and the apron body come together. When I do that, I am making sure that that long edge of my bias tape is covering over the shorter edge, so I can't really tell that there are multiple layers to my bias tape here. Okay, this is the side that is against the fabric. So the short side is against the fabric here, the long side is up. And I am just pinning it right on top of that seam all the way across. And then I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna do 2 stitch lines. I'm gonna do one right along the top edge of the bias tape and then one right along the bottom edge. Again, I'm going to take that fairly slowly as I do that so I can keep a nice even stitch line along that bias tape.